Alright, so today I got in the new the Wilson Baiardo Lite. So I thought I'd do like just a quick little review of it. A little side-by-side comparison maybe. First thing you'll notice, the base, the stand right here, is much smaller than the original Baiardo. First thing kind of stands, it doesn't have the motors in it obviously, so kind of to be expected. Also notice the support arms are also quite a bit wider. These are the same width all the way. These are narrow up here and they get wider as it comes in. My personal thing, I just wrap these in a over grip. That way they don't get all scratched up and nasty looking over time. But that's what I did on this one. I just put over grips on them so they don't look bad. It gives you the little thing that says throat and head. I'm going to say off the top of my head that really doesn't matter. They're just kind of on there. You could pop these off, put them on the other side, so it doesn't really matter. But it's on there if that's what you want to follow. The bottom, you have a place to put your string reels. I'm going to say you can get 7, maybe 8 string reels on there, maybe 9, I don't know. I've got more than that. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 10, 11, 12 string reels, so I probably won't use that. Plus, for me, because I'm about 6'1", it's a little low for me. I don't want to have to bend down here every time I want to get string, so I've got mine on a little rack over there, so it's actually high enough I can just grab it. Power box, obviously, I guess is much smaller because you don't have to run the motors. That's my assumption. Okay, let's come over here. A lot of very similar. Oh, let me come back over here. Comes with all the tools and everything, so it comes with all this stuff. This is for raising and lowering. Stick it in here, and you turn it counterclockwise to raise it, clockwise to lower it. I would suggest, I think in their little instructions they say do it flat to mount a racket, then do your tilt and adjust your tilt, but that's going to take a lot of time. Don't do that. Just find a neutral tilt. If you want it flat, leave it flat. I like mine tilted a little bit so I don't bend over as much. If you want to tilt, just find yourself like a neutral tilt and just leave it. Anyway, it comes with all this stuff. You get the little bent nose pliers, straight nose pliers, the cutters. You come with these, and I've mentioned these in my videos before. It comes with this awl. My advice is take this awl and throw it away. It's too sharp, too pointy. It can damage your string. You can run it through grommets, so just get rid of it. I go like Home Depot or wherever, Lowe's, wherever, and I get these little shorter ones. And if you can tell, it's a little bit thicker. It's not quite as sharp. I don't know if you can tell it, but it's not quite as sharp, and it doesn't do as much damage. It makes the hole, I think, a little bit nicer. You don't have to push it in as far to do the same job. Comes with a little hook for doing badminton racket, for getting strings. These are all badminton accessories. Extra brakes for the table brake. Comes with the wrenches, starting clamp, a Pathfinder awl. Anyway, comes with all the tools that you need. Alright, let's come over here. Power switch underneath. Now the old Baiardo, you have the whole computer system you have to go through. When you turn it on, it'll run through the computer and all your diagnostics. And when you turn it off, you have to tell it you want to turn it off, and it takes a little bit. This one you just have a switch. You just reach underneath, flip your switch. And it runs through all the way down to 1111. And there you go. And now you're ready to start stringing. I've already calibrated it. Man, it's pulling dead on. If you do like I do and you get 2 of them, get one of the old ones, you want one of these as a backup. Man, I got a new camera or a new phone, so I keep sticking my fingers in front of the camera, and I apologize. So here's what I did. This one, obviously, is much more customizable than this one. So what I did is I set this one up, and then I matched that one to it. So I did my calibration, but they're both pulling dead on. This one you can do 10% or 20% pull pre-stretch. So I got that one set for 10 if I ever need it. The knot is a 10% knot pull. I used to have that one set at 15. Now I've got it set at 10. The speed, you have 3 different speeds on this one, so I just set it to the highest one. I used to pull that one 90%. I moved it on up to 100%. So anyway, now I've got them matched to string that away. It comes with all your tool trays just like the old one. You got your little, I guess they put a phone here. Obviously you can tell I put a starting clamp and I use it like a jumper. But it comes with your little thing for your phone. Got the little tool tray here, and that's where my awl goes at over there. Comes with the little tray down here. And I keep my pliers here, cutters here. Something I do like, the old one, if you look down here, I don't know if you can tell it. You can tell I've got it all chipped up and everything, but it's just a little pad. I don't know if you can tell, but the pad's getting kind of chewed up a little bit. This one comes with a nice rubber insert. You can take this rubber insert out, clean it out, do whatever, slap it back in there. I like that insert. Okay, let's go over some of the basics. Puller head, everything here is exactly the same. Hit the switch, it'll pull. Hit the switch again, goes back the other way. To adjust tension, obviously you hit the button, and it's pretty sensitive. You can set the sensitivity. We'll go over that here in a second, but it's pretty sensitive. But you can do it when it goes by half pounds. The old one goes by 1/10 of a pound. Then it goes by half pounds, either up or down. This is a back button. Knot, hit that, you pull in the knot, and again it's 10%. You can hit back, that didn't do anything. So hit the knot again, it goes away. And I don't know if y'all can hear it beep, but this turns the beep on and off. It's not very loud. It's probably, man, it's quarter as loud as the beep on the old original. This is your pre-stretch. You can do either 10% or 20%. And these aren't like button buttons, you know. You don't like push them. You just kind of like the touch screen of your phone. You just touch them and they start working. Touch again, it goes away. The old one, something that's always kind of a pain is I do have some players at the university that use kilograms. And switching from pounds to kilograms is kind of a pain because you have to go into the settings, and I mean it's multiple steps. Over here, all you have to do, hit the button. Oh, you hit it, hold it for 3 seconds, and it switches to kilograms. If you want to go back, you hold it for 3 seconds, and it goes back to pounds. This is the puller speed. You'll notice it'll go down, and it goes back up. So it doesn't just go to slow to high. You got to go walk it through all of them. This is your selecting, like you're saying, okay. Again, this is your settings. And hang on, I got a cheater sheet over here for the settings. But you hold it for 3 seconds, and it'll come up to F1. You have F1, that, and the C, that's calibration. So if you want to calibrate it, you go F1. Which again, I've already calibrated. You can calibrate either pounds or whatever, kilos. Okay, so go up, F2. If you hit that, you tell it yes, and that will send it back to factory calibration. I don't want to go back to factory calibration. F3. F3 is absolutely nothing. They say that is reserved for future use. F4. That is to adjust your sensitivity of the button. So if I select that, we're at 2. I gotta remember how it goes as least sensitive would be 7, 1 would be most sensitive. So I think I read in the thing that says don't go, or 0 is all the way, is the most sensitive. 2, I think is doing pretty good, so I'm just gonna leave it at 2. And so I select it. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear it, but it's selected. I'll go back. And every time I go back, it takes you completely out of the settings. So 5, let me see what 5 is. 5 is display number of rackets strung. So let's say that. It didn't do anything. Probably because I haven't strung any rackets on it. Function displays the approximate number of rackets strung. Press enter button to view. And the machine counts 38 pulls as one racket. So now you know. 38 pulls is a racket. Okay, and that was 5. And then, nope, I guess that's it. Oh, 6. Okay, so it says 6 is just exit settings, but it doesn't do anything. There is no 6. It just keeps going. Just hit that and exit settings. Okay. Oh, and again, so this is pretty basic, pretty simple. Other big difference with these is the clamp bases, because these clamp bases, obviously they lock. Let me see here. The clamps are way lighter. You can tell they're all black, solid, but they're quite a bit lighter than the old clamps. They look like they're built pretty close to the same, but they're a lot lighter. Clamp bases, these clamp bases are way heavier, I can already tell you that. Because, you know, obviously you can lock them and you drop it. And these cannot do that. Is that big an issue? No, I don't think that's that big an issue. To lock the clamp base, and it's going to be hard with me trying to hold my phone, but you just turn it. And so there you go, you lock your clamp base. It's kind of curious, is because you don't really do anything else to it, but they actually release pretty easy. So I kind of thought you'd twist it real hard and it'd be hard to unloosen, or to loosen, but it's not. You do have to have it either stuck on a string, I'm assuming, or hold this part when you clamp this, because obviously it'll just move when you do it. But it shouldn't be that big a deal. I mean, it's the same thing as the Progression ELS that I have. You know, I use one hand with this to clamp it, and the other one I'll crank it down and do the string. The columns will move. That's for doing badminton rackets. Here's something I've already learned about them. They are spring loaded. So there's a pin here and here. You push both of those pins at the same time. I think I can do it with my hand here. And it'll shoot it forward. And that's fantastic. It moves forward easy. To get it back, you have to do the same thing. So you have to use probably both hands. Yeah, I have to use both hands to actually push them in and pull it back. So pushing them in for badminton rackets is really easy. Getting them back out, you may have to use 2 people, because you got to use 2 hands just to push the buttons in. Well, let's see if I can do it this way. Oh no, I did it that way. So, but I got a big hand. I don't know if y'all can tell that or not. I got a pretty big hand. What else? Everything else, it mounts the same. Table brake, same place as the old one right here. It still has the friction brake underneath. Right here, if you don't want the turntable to turn super loose. I like the turntable to turn super loose. That's really about it. Oh, well, here, I'll give you all some. Obviously, you can tell the base is different. That one's silver. This one's black. Something I realized, putting this thing together is, okay, so to raise it up and down, you have a knob here. These knobs are actually pretty beefy. And this thing, you screw it in and they give you a wrench to tighten it up. And then the knob, you can just put the knobs on and off. To raise this up and down, you have a knob that locks it. Loosen it, and if you want to raise it up, you just pull it up. And it's got little hooks over here, teeth, so it'll just raise up. So it's really easy to raise it up. I mean, it's kind of heavy, but it's pretty easy. To lower it, probably take 2 people. I did it by myself earlier, but you really need 2 people, because you have all the weight, and this is all the weight of the machine is up here. This thing down here only weighs probably 10 or 15 pounds. It doesn't weigh hardly anything. But the head up here is pretty heavy. So you have all the weight just sitting on here, so you can't just pull it out. So you have to kind of raise it a little bit, pull it, and then lower it down. But Again, let's see here. I can do it one-handed to raise it up. All you do is... Nah, I can't. Not sitting down, I can't. Oop. Move my little power box. Oh, I'll give you a couple of tips I learned earlier too. So anyway, that's how you would raise it and lower it. And again, let me see here. Hang on. I can't do it with the phone in my hand. I'm sorry. Let's see, I'll turn it down though. And I've got it set pretty low right now because it'll actually, believe it or not, it'll be my wife that uses this more than me, because I will use that one. And I've just picked up enough rackets over the past couple of years. I still keep a machine at the tennis court so I can do game day stringing, but this way I can... It's hard sometimes. I get off work at 5 o'clock and it's hard to do 20, 30 rackets some nights before I want to go to bed. So I got this. A couple of tips when I was putting it together. Oh man, I gotta have knee replacement, so this getting up and down stuff starting to hurt. Anyway, this black piece is a big piece of styrofoam, or I guess foam rubber, I guess. And I didn't see anything in the instructions that said to leave it in or take it out, but I kind of put two and two together. You leave it in. Now, this does go up and up very easily. And I learned this when I was putting it together. I flipped this thing over to put the screws in, and when I did, that part just slid out. So be careful of that. If you flip it over, watch it, because that thing will slide out pretty easy. What else is there to tell you about? The finish on it feels different from the old one. It kind of looks the same, but it feels a little different. It feels rougher. Really can't think of much else. Oh, here, I'll show y'all something though. I got some requests to do some other videos that talk about some things. Okay, so you mount a racket. Let's pretend like we're going to do it the way you're supposed to. Okay. When you guys get out there and shop for a machine, and I'm not saying you have to do this, you figure out whatever machine you want. Okay, well, obviously I'm not like mountain. I'm not going to string this. But anyway, so you have a racket in here. Something you want to look for in a machine is you want your post back here. You want room in here for your hands, if that makes sense. Like my Gamma machine sits like here. So I have big hands, like I was saying, so when I string a racket and you get in here, it gets in the way. So you want something that has some room in here, so that when you're stringing underneath, you have room you can work. Because if this post obviously is sitting here, like if it was set for badminton, this thing would be sitting up here, and the post get in the way of me stringing rackets. So anyway, just something to kind of look at, something to think about when you do one. But like I said, I'm fixing to wrap these things up and keep them from getting scratched up. And then I'll string a racket on it and kind of let y'all know how it goes from there. See how easy the clamps are and everything. We'll do a video. I got to figure out a way to mount my phone again so I can do the video. I used to have a light with a clip on it, but I got rid of it. So anyway, that is the new Baiardo Lite. And so far, yeah, it's lighter. They say it's 20% lighter, and I guess it is. But it's still pretty dang heavy. The top of it. Top of it's got to weigh just as much as the other one did. I mean, it's still just freaking heavy. Have any questions about it, feel free, let me know. I'll try to answer anything I can. I haven't seen any other videos on this, reviewing this. Again, I've got it set up just like the other one. I've calibrated it, and it's pulling dead on, which is what I wanted. And I use, in case you're wondering, I use the Tennis Head 2090, I believe is what it's called, calibrator, which is a true calibrator. It never locks out on you, so whatever it pulls, it pulls. I use Kevlar string so it doesn't have any give to it. Anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Pretty excited to have the new machine here, and get my wife to work. But anyway, that's the video.